Yeah, come in.
Hey Activision, here's your cut of the money from that mod that we're working on.
Finally. I've been waiting to strike this mod down. Here's a very special thank you letter from our lawyers.
Wait, what? This says cease and desist. What do we do
Thanks
wrong?
again for the money. You upload that mod, we'll make sure to sue for everything you and your children are worth.
Call of Duty franchise is a series that's existed for over 20 years now, with over 50 titles, including spin-offs and a yearly release schedule. There's been a lot of games, some good, many bad. But due to the length of time this franchise has been out, it's adopted a fairly large and dedicated audience, one of the largest in gaming. It is a gaming juggernaut and arguably one of the most well-known gaming IPs, topping charts every year no matter what lazy wet fart Activision released that year. And with such a large fan base, as is the case with every franchise, you're gonna have some that are a bit more dedicated than the others. Some that show that dedication in different ways by supporting the series, hanging up posters, cosplaying, or defending a billion-dollar corporation that doesn't know you exist, while others showcase it by creating their own dedicated fan projects, their own games, not only for the community to enjoy, but for the devs to experience themselves, and it's coin toss how they'll thank these fans for their show of support. If you're making mods for Bethesda, you're finishing their game. If you're making a mod for Valve or Sega, you'll get hired like the good Samaritans that they are. If you're Rockstar, it depends on their mood that day. If you're making a remaster that looks better than their SimCity remaster, they'll strike your ass down and force you to buy their dog shit. But if you're making money for them by having people buy GTA 5 to play 5M, they'll hire you. The good ending. Meanwhile, Nintendo will send their lawyers to your doorstep before you can even type in the first line of code. And if you're Activision, you'll let the devs waste a few years of their lives, maybe even let them make you some money, and then thank them for that money and support by shutting their project down. Yes, Activision has formed a bit of a reputation when it comes to fan projects, and it all started around 2021 as longtime fans of the series began working on a sort of compilation for the franchise. Over 100 weapons from all the different games, weapons from the Modern Warfare series, Black Ops series, World War II games, even the futuristic ones, 40 plus maps from across the franchise, returning perks using the Modern Warfare 3 point system, with assault and support kill streaks returning, even the specialist kill streaks returning, allowing you to turn into a genuine super soldier with enough kills, and something that even modern COD struggles to do, the prestige system returning, allowing you to get to level 100 and then prestige through all the different tiers. It was one of the most ambitious fan projects I've ever seen and was gearing up to be one of the coolest experiences for longtime COD players. A game that people had been dreaming of since this franchise first exploded in popularity and had 50 games created for it, and was all set to run on the Modern Warfare Numerical 2 engine IW4. That is until the devs ran into a bit of an issue, as about 2 years into development in 2023, they began to have issues with that engine as the vision for this mod got so ambitious that the old Modern Warfare 2 engine they were using genuinely started to hold them back. They were beginning to reach the limitations of that decade-old engine. So they decided to jump over to the Modern Warfare 1 Remastered engine, as being newer, it would be able to handle all the shit that the devs were throwing at it. But this switch hit them with a bit of a dilemma, as since the original Modern Warfare Numerical 2 was such an old and popular game, many people already owned it, and some may have even bought it in preparations for this mod. And now with this switch, the devs may have felt a little bit guilty asking their supporters to spend $40.
Because yes, Activision has a 7-year-old remaster of a 15-year-old game with a consistent 30 people playing its multiplayer, still marked at $40.
To buy Modern Warfare Remastered to play this project. So they did not directly state this, although they did imply that they may provide a way for players to get Modern Warfare Remastered for free, and Activision, sensing the community having fun without it filling their pockets, immediately sent a cease and desist within the month, and just like that, SM2 was dead. And while yes, you may think, and honestly I agree with you, that the devs hinting at offering a free version of Modern Warfare Remastered was a bit of a dumb decision and asking for a takedown, they may have thought they were safe since there had already been multiple mod clients offering pirated versions of whatever Call of Duty they were working on for years beforehand without a word from Activision. Until this first takedown, where suddenly after years of not hearing a word from Activision, every one of these clients suddenly got a multi-paged word from Activision and their lawyer. You see, before SM2, there was XLabs, a client which supported a host of old Call of Duty games because they really fucking needed it. These were decade-old games being sold at Shadow of the Erdtree prices. $20 for Modern Warfare Numerical 2, $40 for Modern Warfare Numerical 3, because a 2-year age gap equates to a $20 price hike according to Activision. And if that was bad, $60 for Call of Duty Ghosts. That shit wasn't even worth that 10 years ago when it came out. Where every other company will make a game like $10 once it reaches 10 plus years of age, Activision will still continue to try to cash in as much as humanly possible, even if it's on games that don't fucking work. These are games that are genuinely, and I mean this with no hyperbole, are unsafe to play. It is an actual safety risk. You're spending $20 to $60 to get malware or spyware installed on your PC. As while Activision hasn't given up on the price point, they sure should have given up on server support with these older titles no longer having any anti-cheat, as if they even did in the first fucking place. Warzone barely even has that shit, as well as no dedicated servers, as those were shut down a long time ago because that costs money that these games are generating with their fucking egregious price point, but Activision would rather pocket that than reinvest back into the game.
Thank you, Activision. I spent AAA price on a 10-year-old game so I could get my address leaked on the dark web.
And the community, seeing Activision wasn't planning on doing jack shit about this aside from pocketing this extra flow of money, decided to take matters into their own hands, creating XLabs, a client which initially simply served as a sort of hub for Black Ops 3 modding, from things like custom zombie maps to downright goofy shit, until it eventually expanded to support multiple other titles, giving them dedicated servers, server browsing, as well as an actual anti-cheat so that you could play these games without having to reset your PC after every session. Modern Warfare 2, 3, Ghost, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3 were all supported by XLabs for years without a word from Activision, even though they engaged in tactics that SM2 only hinted at doing. Meanwhile, XLabs had already been doing it for years, which is likely one of the reasons why the SM2 devs thought they were in the clear to offer pirated versions of Modern Warfare Remastered, as XLabs had been directly guiding people on how to pirate the versions of the games that they supported. At least they did, until Activision got a taste for blood and redirected their attention to XLabs for potentially the same reason, even though they're 10-plus-year-old games that you're not even supporting yourselves, you fucking cunts. And while yes, the piracy may be one of the main reasons Activision struck down XLabs, there is one major discrepancy: plutonium.
Yeah, you're right. This is a major fucking discrepancy.
No, not the radioactive material, the client. Plutonium was another client similar to XLabs, but for mainly Treyarch games, as well as Modern Warfare 3, and that's the only Infinity Ward game. That's kind of weird. Supporting MW3, World at War, Black Ops 1 and 2, which is the den of hackers. That bitch is plagued. That operates in nearly identical ways to XLabs, although that was never taken down.
That doesn't mean don't, Activision.
The one major difference, however, between XLabs and Plutonium was gambling. You see, Plutonium only really supported Call of Duty games when they were good, while XLabs had Call of Duty Ghost. They didn't have to deal with much DLC issues aside from a few skin packs in Black Ops 2. Meanwhile, XLabs supported Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, the hub of underage gambling. So this leads to a bit of an issue. How do players access these loot boxes on unofficial servers? If they pay for it on unofficial servers, how does that money go back to Activision? Or will it go to the devs so that the case can go from a cease and desist to a class action lawsuit? What do you do in this scenario? Well, the XLabs devs chose wrong, as they simply added a command to instantly unlock everything from the loot boxes, and everyone liked that, but Activision did not. Here's a kind letter from our lawyers. After murdering SM2 in cold blood for even hinting at offering pirated copies of Modern Warfare Remastered, a 7-year-old remaster for a 16-year-old game, both of which Activision no longer supports and makes dick profits from, they caught wind of a team sabotaging their illegal gambling operation and murdered them too. And that was the 2023 butchering of the Call of Duty mod community. Until about 1 year later, where there was a new mod on the block, and despite the team having learned from the community's past mistakes and taking every precaution possible, still were ended by Activision, and this time in the most insulting way possible. And to give full context, we're gonna have to go back to 2016. As in May of that year, Activision released the trailer of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the third futuristic jetpack Call of Duty in a row over the course of 3 years, and the community reacted accordingly. A reaction that Activision seemingly predicted, as they also fully remastered one of the most beloved Call of Duties of all time, the one that really kickstarted the franchise, COD 4 Modern Warfare campaign and all, and sold it exclusively in an $80 bundle to guarantee high sales for the one that no one gives a flying fuck about: clever, greedy fucks. And this remaster was very well received by fans and critics alike, keeping the core of the gameplay still pure while adding the obvious enhanced graphics, gameplay, modernized features, and even referencing the future games in the later campaigns. It was a fantastic and incredibly faithful remaster, at least for the first half of the year, until they decided to cash in on this too, adding loot boxes and weapons locked behind them in a remaster of a decade-old game. But with MWR in the books and Activision showing that they'd be willing to re-release their older games and its multiplayer, that got fans' imaginations running wild. Modern Warfare 2, 3 Remastered, World at War, Black Ops 1 and 2, instead we got that in real life. Now with 8 years having gone by since that release, did we get any of those? Well, no, and yes. Yes, in March of 2020, we got Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, which, like the first one, was extremely well made and faithful to the original with nice additions and upgrades that really added to the experience. The only problem is it was a 6-hour experience for $20 and no fucking multiplayer. The main thing 90% of people wanted this for was cut, even though they already made it. Beanox made and finished the multiplayer, and Activision just decided to not release it. Why? Because you were worried people would stop playing your dogshit battle royale and buying your Uncanny Valley crossovers? Probably yes. So fans, once again, just like they did with the old game's broken multiplayers, took matters into their own hands, as in summer of 2023, it was announced that a group of dedicated fans had begun working on a project that remastered the multiplayer of 2 themselves with no profit, no donations whatsoever. In fact, it made Activision a profit as the devs required you to purchase Modern Warfare Remastered with no offers or hints of piracy whatsoever. A simple passion project for a game that we all love, taking the assets and finished weapon models and such from the campaign remaster, rebalancing them to fit the multiplayer, and even rebalancing broken shit like One Man Army. For over a year, these fans worked hard on this remaster without a word from Activision until it was nearly complete and ready for release in the summer of 2024. As in August, YouTubers began to receive the game and were allowed to play and upload it, although with bot lobbies only, as the full multiplayer servers weren't going live until August 16th. And the hype train officially began as Modern Warfare Remastered, again a game that you were required to buy, spiked to Steam's top selling as anticipation for the mod built up, literally making Activision stacks of cash for no effort. And in fact, Activision even leaned into this, putting the game on sale 50% off. Holy shit, we all thought. Activision was actually subtly showing their support to the devs until August 15, where that sale ended, and boop, here's your cease and desist. Have a good day. That is genuinely one of the most insanely fucked up things I've ever seen a corporation do.
And if you don't get it, let me reword it, let me rephrase it, and paint you a better picture of how insulting this is.
Activision genuinely took the mod down for no reason. The other case is, okay, you can make an argument if you really want to be a corporate meat rider. Sure, they were allowing you to bypass paid content, even though that really wouldn't hurt the billions they were generating off this cash cow every year, while not even bothering to invest a percentage of that back into these games that XLabs was supporting. But fine, they had some ground to stand on. They had none here. This is one of the most evil and malicious things I've ever seen a company go out of their way to do. They knew about this mod being worked on for over a year. They did jack shit about it, gave the devs false hope, let them waste a year of their lives and just do their thing. The developers were ready to release it. It required a Modern Warfare Remastered purchase. It would not hurt Activision in any way. It was benefiting them. They were making bank on a game they released nearly 10 years ago. They sent the game out to YouTubers Activision is affiliated with, announced it'd be out on the 16th, and now comes the really fucked up part where Activision hears about this, because no doubt they weren't watching this shit like a hawk. Their own partners are promoting it. They put the game required to run this mod on sale to encourage even more fuckers to buy it, make a fuck ton of money for no effort off the backs of their fans, and then shut the mod down after making a bunch of money off of it, letting the devs waste a year plus of their lives. It's the first time I've ever seen a corporate entity genuinely rug pull its community. This was a fucking pump and dump in the gaming sense. It's as close as a company could get to a pump and dump without committing genuine fraud. And every time this happens, the community goes in an uproar. Last year, everyone flipped out. They trended on Twitter. Every COD YouTuber covered it. FaZe Jeff got so mad he busted out the old Modern Warfare 3 mic to scream at Activision.
They're scared. They're intimidated by it. They're literally scared. They're so scared of a little modded client. And here's another thing. I'm just going to say it how it is. They're like, well, it is Activision's property. Can I just say it like this? I don't give a fuck.
As the same this year. Activision trended. Twitter got pissed. Modern Warfare Remastered got review bombed. Every COD YouTuber is covering it. Even people who aren't COD YouTubers like Mudahar and the entirety of FaZe Clan, at least the ones that remain. Not just Jev, although he did cover it too, but the entirety of FaZe Clan came out and urged Activision to reconsider it, but they didn't, and they're not going to. Because according to the dev of this project, they are genuinely scared of it.
Essentially, because of the popularity H2M was gaining and how close it is to Black Ops 6 releasing and kind of the marketing and the beta and stuff for like that, they did not want H2M interfering with possible sales of Black Ops 6.
They're scared. They're intimidated by it.
They're genuinely scared of this fucking up Black Ops 6's sales. How down bad does your flagship franchise have to be for you to be scared of a fan remaster of a 15-year-old game? If it's any comfort to you, Activision, I promise you this remaster wouldn't have done anything. I promise, I swear to you. And so, for the third time, one more COD fan project has been killed. And honestly, and hopefully as sad as it is to say, I think it'll be the last one. I don't see any other small devs wasting years of their lives on a fan project that'll inevitably be taken down because Activision's scared it'll take $1,000 away from their yearly 30 million gain. And it's so sad to say because this franchise has so much potential for fan mods. Just remember, some of the greatest gaming IPs, greatest games started off as fan projects. Quake was a Doom mod, Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead. If these companies were as cutthroat about this as Activision is, then these games would have never seen the light of day. Activision could have literally had the next Counter-Strike on their hands and made $1 billion off gambling like Valve has, since they very clearly love that concept, but instead they'd rather cease and desist every potential mod because they're fucking insecure. Hope you enjoyed that slimy ass COD remaster money you got, because if you just let people do their thing, you could have potentially had so much more. Money that, you know, wouldn't have been fucking refunded.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at all the money we made for our sale. What? No! They're refunding the game! No!